Leave it. Good girl. Up. Up. Well, okay. Good morning, everybody. We're starting it, well, fairly early, but not completely early. How are you guys doing this morning? I got a lot of people in my chat this morning. Let's see. There is a Batman. There is a Hunley, twice over, split personality. Love you anyway, Hunley. A Ghost Dog, a Panina Chan, and I see a Fuckwad in there too. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing on this Saturday morning? So, 50 years ago, a whole bunch of people did something. And if you didn't think I was going to try and work that reference in, you don't know me. The moon landing happened in 1969 on this very day. And on this very day, I'm also going to plug this back in so you guys can hear the video.
AUX mode.
Thank you, Asian lady on my Bluetooth speaker. Here we go.
I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Columbia, this is Houston, ALS, over. Houston, Columbia, on the high gate, over. Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. They're setting up the flag now. I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene. That's all right, I don't mind a bit. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface. Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston? Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture. You're in our field of view now. I'd like to evaluate the various paces that a person can traveling on the lunar surface. You do have to be. All right. You do have to be rather careful to keep track of where your center of mass is. Sometimes it takes about 2 or 3 paces to make sure that you've got your feet underneath you. And about 2 or 3 or maybe 4 easy paces can bring you to a fairly smooth stop. Like a football player, you just have to put out to the side, cut a little bit.
There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of a video clip. Also from Time, and I will be reading this to you guys. How Apollo program changed our understanding of what the moon even is. As the ancient planet Theia struck its glancing blow toward Tellus, the planet that would become Earth, part of its mantle sloughed off into that of the planet it had struck, pushing a layer of Tellurian mantle ahead of it like mud on the blade of a bulldozer. What the hell? I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, okay, it's the moon's origin. Yeah, okay. Oh, I thought it was going to be some more insight. It isn't. Okay, never mind. Yeah, but Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and all them have, been... They fire back against the criticism, which I think is really freaking cool because, you have people that don't pay attention to much. So, yeah. There is that. I'll get rid of that hum. All right, so Ronan went back on the road today, which leads to me skipping right down to the schedule changes. He has Thursdays and Fridays off, which means that's when he's home, Thursdays and Fridays. I took a good long think about that this past week that he was home, right? And Neil A is backwards is alien. Yep. And I thought it wouldn't be fair for him to have to wait for me to finish doing my work on Thursday and Friday so we can spend time together and then him go back to work on Saturday. So the Morning Brew is going to start airing Saturday through Wednesday, and I'm going to take Thursdays and Fridays off for the news so I can spend time with Ronan while he's home. You do have to spend time with each other as much as possible when you're married. Otherwise, you're just roommates, kind of, islands and ships passing in the night or whatever metaphors you want to use. So, yeah. So we are trying in the next few weeks to get certain things accomplished. Today, if there is a knock on the door, if there's a knock on the door today, that would probably be Rent-A-Center. Yeah, that too. There will probably be Rent-A-Center delivering an i5 gaming laptop, which will allow me to actually stream through Twitch again and use OBS. So when that happens, I will give you guys an announcement. If it happens after the stream is already said and done, the announcement will be put in my Discord as well as on Twitter. Because we are, he wants me to go back to doing the stuff that I used to do and how I used to do it. Me too. And I also would like to stream games, which I can't do because this computer, it just, with only 4 gigabytes of RAM, OBS, and anything else at the same time, just bogs down this computer horribly. So I covered that. Yay. Checklist is getting checked off. Okay, but in the coming weeks, since he got a sign-on bonus with JB Hunt, we're going to see what we can do about amassing money together to actually get me a desktop, my own desktop, and monitor and webcam so we can get everything set up. Because the new rig, the new setup and everything is going to have a tripod that's going to aim at a certain person or certain 4-legged fuzzy creature that likes to run around while I'm doing stuff. So there will be a puppy cam during streams. I figured you guys would want to see the puppy during the news. It may be me when I stream my games, but who knows? Desktop Master Race. Working on it. As you can see, I have a weekly revenue goal of $400. I added everything up, actually, in order to get me the gaming rig that I want. Well, a stopgap one, because I still need an i7 to play Cyberpunk. Very funny, Batman. It takes at least an i7 or an AMD compatible i7 computer to run Cyberpunk 2020. So we may be looking into one of those ultimately, because the beast of a beast is a beast. Oh, you're not too late. We haven't started the really important stuff yet, but I do want to get back to gaming and things of that nature. So the $400 a week is going to go to a new computer. Improving content, in other words, me actually, really getting into these tutorials and learning how to use Vegas and getting equipment like the Stream Boss. I think it's called a Stream Boss or something like that. That Fat Pat and Sophane have, that kind of thing. Paying new people for the blog. Hey, Dade, how you doing? Because I do want to get more contributors contributing to the blog, whether they want to do commentary or news. And I want from, all the spectrums of the political arena. I've got a friend of mine that is liberal. I like the way he thinks, even though we don't agree on, a few topics or issues. But that's good. I want to start putting different perspectives on my main news blog. And obviously paying the bills. I want to make the blogs paid blogs. That way they cannot suspend my blog for any particular manner, because it will be mine and I will be having it hosted. And blogs plural, because I want to also pay for or have, yes, Streamlab dorks, pay for, fuck, now I lost my train of thought. I want to pay for the Geek blog as well and have it hosted. I want to set up my crafting workshop, because I want to go back to doing my calligraphy, making my chainmail, and making my jewelry, and also streaming those processes. That way you guys can see what I do when I'm making a jewelry piece. Really? I start the stream? You went out at 10 o'clock. You can't wait till mommy's finished? Get over there and lie down. Sheesh. So yeah, it's the $400 isn't for no particular purpose. So yeah, there's that. And then you got merch designs for the shop, which I'm trying to put together myself. But since I can't draw, I'm trying to piecemeal stuff together to get something going. Still going to have the crowdfunding, and also on my blog, on my main blog. Yeah, right? Also on my main blog, there's going to be, and there already is, links for you to hire me as a freelance ghostwriter, proofreader, or transcriber. So if you guys are interested in any one of those, just go to my blog and check that out. Now, I have also been watching some animes that I have found rather interesting. The Ultraman anime and Seven Deadly Sins are on Netflix, and those are very, very interesting. Yeah, right? She kind of did for a few seconds, and then, no. Uh-oh, she disappeared. I gotta go find her. So, yeah, Seven Deadly Sins and Ultraman, I recommend. Those are on Netflix right now. Black Clover and Goblin Slayer, I am watching on Crunchyroll. And I just started Goblin Slayer. Holy crap. When they say that's an adult one, they are not effing kidding at all, by any stretch of the imagination. Let me go see where this puppy is. And when I can't see her, it's like a toddler. I have no clue what she's up to. What? What are you doing in here? No. You need to go play with your ball or something. There you go. Have the zoomies. Have fun. Get over there. Wear the carpet out. Well, I'll probably wind up reading the manga. Yeah, they did. They lost $7 billion. Okay, so now, and the last topic of comment of this wonderful coffee conversation is going to start out with a few videos. So let me pull those up. We all remember, because it's been all over the news. This particular, come on. I don't need you to freeze on me. Thank you. Come on, you can do it. Load the page. Thank you. All right. The first 22 seconds is him saying other bullshit before he gets to the crux of the situation, which is what we are going to be discussing. So here.
Representative Ilhan Omar of a really great state. I almost won the first time in decades and decades, Minnesota. Great state.
See, this is one of the reasons that I don't particularly like Trump. To me, he's an egotist because he could have cut this off before now, but he didn't. He let it go on. I understand it's a rally. Okay. I understand that he's trying to get everybody behind him, but all these people that are here are already behind him. They're already going to cast votes, in the 2020 race for him to become president. So to me, he could have cut this off a little bit shorter, but he let it go on because he's basking in the glow. Well, not only because of that, but things that he has said on Twitter and during speeches and stuff. It has. I just can't stand people that are full of themselves. Oh, I didn't say it wasn't working. I did not say it wasn't working in the least.
By the way, I keep hearing how much enthusiasm.
Dade, you know me better than that.
Is in the radical left. I don't think they have enthusiasm. They're just fighting with each other. We have all of the enthusiasm.
Well, they have enthusiasm for intersectional feminism, dividing the country, calling everybody racist, not Nazis, Yeah, that's true. Welcome to the chat, Esteban.
He goes home now to mommy and he gets reprimanded, and that's the end. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mom. Didn't mean to embarrass you, mom. But it's true. We have the enthusiasm, folks. Look at this. Look at this. And by the way, thousands and thousands of people outside and people that couldn't get in. Thousands. We've got all the enthusiasm. They're fighting each other. United States for the terrorist attacks on our country, saying that terrorism is a reaction to our involvement in other people's affairs.
She has said that. She has said that. And I have said on many of occasions that we have the propensity of sticking our noses where it doesn't fucking belong. But in regards to 9/11, what we were doing over there, fighting Al-Qaeda, was in direct response to, 2 planes hitting 2 certain towers and 1 crashing down and then on 1 hitting the Pentagon. I think it hit the Pentagon. So 4 planes in 1 day. Yeah.
She smeared U.S. service members involved in Black Hawk Down. In other words, she slandered the brave Americans who were trying to keep peace in Somalia.
Okay. Somalia was one of those countries that really didn't want us there. Okay. They showed beyond the shadow of a doubt that they did not want U.S. intervention there, but we sent troops there anyway. And I think it was in Somalia. I can't remember if it was in Somalia. Might have been in Somalia. where they had video clips of Somalians dragging our military dead up and down the street. I think it was Somalia. I might be wrong. I think it was another country, but for some reason that sticks out. Yeah, some people, yeah. Yeah.
Omar minimized the September 11th attacks on our homeland, saying some people did something. I don't think so. Some people did something. Yeah, some people did something. All right. She pleaded for compassion for ISIS.
Yeah, that she did. Look, if you like ISIS, if you like Al Qaeda, if you're behind all the radical Muslims and Islam and stuff, why did you? Oh, I know why you ran. That would have been a dumb fucking question. If you do not like this country, why are you here? This country, Miss Ilhan Omar, afforded you all the opportunities that you took advantage of for you to be where you are today. And you have nothing but venom, vitriol, hatred, and complaints toward this country because your eyes are as closed as everyone else's that believes in the rhetoric coming out of the regressive left. You have your head so far up your ass, you could give yourself a free colonoscopy. You are so brainwashed that my clothes look dirty in comparison right after I finish doing a load of laundry. You are so steeped in your ideology that I'm waiting at any moment for you and the other three of your cronies to get together and start chanting one of us. Because that is how far gone you and your three are, Miss Omar. That is how far all of you are gone.
Recruits attempting to join the terrorist organization. She was looking for compassion. Omar laughed that Americans speak of Al Qaeda in a menacing tone and remarked that you don't say America with this intensity. You say Al Qaeda makes you proud. Al Qaeda makes you proud. You don't.
Yeah, I saw that video clip where she was sitting there laughing because she was taking a terrorism class when she was going to university. And every time the professor went to say Al Qaeda, he tensed up and got nervous before he said the name. You know, it's, and she laughed. Okay, you can go ahead and laugh. Okay, bitch. My channel ain't monetized anyway. I don't have to wash my mouth. You can sit there and laugh, but all you're showing is your lack of compassion for the country that gave you all these opportunities. Evening, Yin.
Speak that way about America. And at a press conference just this week, when asked whether she supported Al Qaeda, that's our enemy. That's our enemy. They are a very serious problem that we take care of, but they always seem to come along somewhere.
See, okay, I understand his rallies aren't scripted, but I think what he was trying to say there was once you get rid of one Al Qaeda terrorist cell, 2 or 3 pop up somewhere else, which is how these terrorists work, which is why defeating 100% of terrorism is absolutely impossible because you squelch one cell and 2 to 3 others pop up in other places. It's like fucking cockroaches.
She refused to answer. She didn't want to give an answer to that question. Omar blamed the United States for the crisis in Venezuela.
She's a dumbass. We did not make Venezuela happen. Venezuela made Venezuela happen. Why are you not allowed? Because of the regressive left politics. If you criticize women of color, you're a bigot and a sexist. Or a racist and a sexist.
I mean, think of that one. And she looks down with contempt on the hardworking Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country.
Ignorance is pervasive wherever there is regressive leftist ideologies. Because those are the people that back Antifa. Those are the people that apologize for Islamic terrorists. Those are the people that wrongly and very stupidly call anybody a racist for not liking radical Islam. because Muslims are not, Islam is not a race, it's a religion. These people are so dumb.
And obviously and importantly, Umar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
Okay, now all I've got is 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Double standards, breed division. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, they do. They most certainly do. Now, Al Qaeda's Hydra. See, my problem with this is, okay, yes, send her back is the thought. She did come from Somalia. She was not U.S. born. However, you are the president of the United States of America, and there are certain things that dictate decorum that you must follow, especially when all eyes are on you, whether you give a fuck or not. The proper way to have handled that would have been to quell them and tell them to stop. The problem is, if he would have told them to do that, he would have looked better in some eyes and worse in others because of his tweet before telling them to go back to where they came from. So either he's trying to tell his people, not to do that, or he's a hypocrite because, of his tweets. No matter what he does in this position, he's between a rock and a hard place. I personally, if I was in his position, I would have told them to tamp it down, to quiet down, that, we're not here for that. The difference between should follow and must follow. Yeah. Let me see. Hello, Roland. But it's just, to me, it's not proper decorum for the president of the United States to just stand there and look, he wasn't smiling. I'll give him that. Okay. He wasn't smiling, but he should have not allowed it to continue for as long as he did. That is my point of contention with that. Okay. Now, if you were there in his place, you wouldn't have tweeted either. No, I would not have. I would not have. There are certain things that I firmly believe that he shouldn't tweet because he tweets and he speaks with no filter. And when you're in the political arena, you have to be very careful. You have to measure your words very carefully, and you have to be very aware. It is Trump, exactly, MC. You have to be very aware of what you're saying because as president of the United States, you are a great influence to those who look up to you and admire you. So, as I get this one to load, he was asked a question recently, okay?
Asked him to stop saying that.
Well, number one, I think I did. I started speaking very quickly. It really was a loud, I disagree with it, by the way, but it was quite a chant. And I felt a little bit badly about it.
So you'll tell your supporters never to say that again?
I would say that. I was not happy with it.
Okay, if he wasn't happy with it, why didn't he try and stop it? We saw what happened. He tried to speak. Did it look like he was trying to speak to you guys? You saw the video.
I disagree with it. But again, I didn't say that. They did. But I disagree.
But they were echoing what you said in your first tweet.
That is true. That they were.
They should go back.
Well, I don't think if you examine it, I don't think you'll find that. But I disagree with it.
Oh, no. They were. Everything you tweet influences the people who follow you. They were. That's exactly what they were doing. I broke down your tweets in a blog post. That's exactly what they were doing.
We'll stop them if they try to do it again.
Well, I didn't like that they did it, and I started speaking very quickly.
No, there was about, 10 seconds? If you play it back when the chant began, he did speak quickly. Okay, let's go back to it then. Open link in new tab. Obama was a piece of crap. That's all I'm going to say. I did not like Obama. Obama screwed up this country more than he fixed anything. His apology tour is absolutely was despicable. All right, so we're going back over here.
Holy shit, who's a rat?
All right. There's no way for me to block these ads on Dissenter. I try to be middle of the road. Now, I will admit that a lot of Trump's policies and what he has done has brought jobs back to the United States. He is doing something to fix the immigration. The tax cuts have actually helped the economy because when people have more money in their pockets, they tend to spend that. No, I am not. You know, he has done a lot of good things. I am not going to discount him for that. I am not going to discredit him for that. Okay? I can't skip past this thing, and this is pissing me off. But, you know, it's, to me, movie too. There are things that he says and does that he should be a little more careful of saying and doing. That's all I have to say. So far, there are some things that he's done that I completely agree with. I mean, he's done a lot of good for this country so far. Our unemployment is down. You've got, you know, jobs being generated every week, if not every day. You know, that's a loaded question, Yin. I don't know. Nah. Oh, that's quite all right, dear. That's quite all right. Come on, hurry up with the ad already. God. Obama alienated a lot of the Western. The problem with Obama is that he went on a worldwide U.S. apology tour when he should have kept his fucking mouth shut. Okay? If you don't like how this country is run, and the only way that you wanted to get into office is so that you go to everybody and fucking apologize for what you thought was done wrong, you shouldn't have run in the first place. Number two, if all you wanted to do was be hired to make history, you shouldn't have run as a fucking president. I don't care what color or what sex the person is that's running for office. Can you do it? Can you improve this country and keep this country growing? That's all I give a shit about. That's all I give a crap about. If you answer yes, your butt can be purple with yellow polka dots and you run for president, I'd vote for your ass. Come here, girl. Obama's Affordable Care Act was a joke. The center's supposed to have ad block. It's just not fucking working, and it's pissing me off. Let me see. Obama's ACA screwed everything up. Okay, his little Obamacare bullshit. I did not like it in the least. His attempt to stimulate the recessive, economy didn't work because I'm sorry, when you're trying to tell me you're giving me a tax break and I can't see it when I do my taxes because you're taking the fee out because of the Affordable Care Act, you need to go on because I've got nothing else to say to you. He totally ignored what BLM and Antifa were doing. He went along with the rhetoric of backing up the hatred as far as, police officers were concerned. And he's just, Obama was a piece of shit.
Somewhere. She refused
No, she wasn't.
Venezuela.
Let me see, it was around here.
Importantly, Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
Okay, see, he did, but he stopped at screeds and then he just let it go. That's the way I'm seeing it, MC. So I'm playing this again, and that's the way I'm seeing it. He kind of he started to talk, and as soon as he stopped, it's, for some strange reason, it doesn't install on the Dissenter browser. It's supposed to have one built in. Yeah, that's another thing that this guy got slammed for, is his birther thing. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably go back. The problem with Chrome is I only have 4 gigabytes of memory, and I don't have a computer that This computer is slow, so too much stuff going on at once, it starts going unresponsive. So here we go.
Listen for yourself. As President Trump criticizes Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
He did, but they were valid criticisms. That's the thing. They were valid criticisms, okay? We're working on that. We're getting a new computer. We're getting a temporary laptop that we're going to be renting. And so I'll be able to do OBS and everything else that I want to do. Okay, so here we go. This is the newest on this little send her back. Yeah, I got to use Chrome. I use Dissenter because it uses less resources. Okay, so by CBS this morning, in reversal, Trump disavows criticism of chanting crowd. Yep. So here we are. President Donald Trump has reversed his previous criticisms of a North Carolina campaign crowd that chanted "Send her back" about a Somali-born congresswoman. Just say Ilhan Omar. Just say Ilhan Omar. We all know who you're talking about. Name her. Trump on Friday defended the rally-goers as patriots while again questioning the loyalty of 4 Democratic lawmakers of color. You can already see the rhetoric they're using in this article. Okay? Because he could have said the questioning the loyalty of Ocasio-Cortez, Tlaib, Omar, and that other woman's name who I haven't learned yet enough to. Oh, Presley, down here. Just scoot down there. His comments marked a return to a pattern that has become familiar during controversies of his own making. Ignite a firestorm, backtrack, and then strongly reaffirm his original inflammatory position. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is not because of where she came from. That is not because of who she is or the color of her skin. When he says, go back to where you came from, when he says, go back to your own country, he doesn't mean it because of the color of their skin. He means it because of the ideology that they are pushing on people, that they keep talking, their narrative and their rhetoric. He's talking about their politics, their political leanings, and their beliefs because they're criticizing the United States. And his mentality, along with mine, since I am the daughter of immigrants, is if you do not like the country that afforded you all the opportunities that you are now taking advantage of to be in the positions of power that you're in, leave. Leave. It's got nothing to do with the color of your skin. It's got nothing to do with your ethnicity. It's got nothing to do with your country of origin or where your ancestors came from. If you don't like this country, if everything that comes out of your mouth is venom, vitriol, and acid against a country that is one of the best countries in the world, that has freedom of speech and the right to protect yourself among every other right that is listed in the Bill of Rights, you can leave. If you think this country is oppressive, if you think this country is keeping you down, if you think this country is not letting you and giving you all the opportunities that you need to have, go somewhere else where you think you can get those opportunities. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter where you come from. If all you do is bitch about this country like you'd want to be somewhere else, leave. Yeah, I know that. But I'm not saying, okay, Ghost Dog, when I say that he is not acting according to how I believe a POTUS should act, I am looking at the history of all the presidents before him and how they have addressed the public, to take those as examples that he should follow in speaking and how he holds himself in the public eye as the president of the United States. That's what I mean. Okay, here we go. When reporters at the White House asked if he was unhappy with the Wednesday night crowd, Trump responded, "Those are incredible people. They are incredible patriots. But I'm unhappy when a congresswoman goes and said, I'm going to be the president's nightmare, which she said. She has said that. And it was another dizzying twist in a saga sparked by the president's racist. Okay, so they weren't racist. They weren't racist. Oh my God. Yeah. So, and once again, because they have to, they have to bring this up. They have to bring this up. They have to bring this up every time. It's when you give them a bludgeon, they're going to continue to use it. They're going to keep using that club until it breaks. The moment took an ugly turn at the rally when the crowd's send her back shouts resounded for 13 seconds. I don't know. As Trump made no attempt to interrupt him. He paused in his speech and surveyed the scene. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. This is the difference between an objective reporter and somebody building a narrative. Okay? Paused in his speech, surveyed the scene, taking in the uproar. They're trying to paint him as a dictator. They're trying to paint him as a totalitarian. Okay? They're trying so hard to compare him to a certain World War II dictator that went loopy due to drugs, that instead of objectively reporting what we just saw in the video, they narrated it. Because to me, what happened was he was in the middle. He had just finished a sentence. Send her back shouts started softly. As they grew to a crescendo, he was making different faces and he had different body language as he looked and listened to what was going on around him for 13 seconds. Now, I am not a body speech expert. I am not an expert on gesticulations or facial expressions. Okay. So I am not going to describe one way or the other as to why or how he was acting in order to paint him one way or the other, because it is not us to assume that. We don't know what he was thinking when they were chanting that. He was standing there, in my opinion, if you've seen his addresses to Congress, if you've seen his Rose Garden rambles, he was standing there as he normally stands there, waiting for people to finish. He was looking around, waiting for people to finish. It's just that simple. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't smirking. He wasn't egging it on. He wasn't doing any of that shit. He was standing there like he does during congressional addresses and Rose Garden rambles and waiting for them to finish. Period. On Friday, he made it clear that he was not disavowing the chant again laced into Omar. He goes, you can't talk that way about our country. Nope. You can talk the way about our country. Not when I'm president. Trump said these women have said horrible things about our country and the people of our country. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay? And the thing is, this is going to be taken horribly out of context. Mark my words, we're going to see this on other articles when they're trying to twist it in a totalitarian way, in a dictatorial way. You can't talk that way about our country, but he's not going to change the First Amendment. He's not going to do anything like that. What he's saying is, when you talk like that about my country, I'm going to say something back in retaliation, because you're disparaging the country that you live in that is better than most countries around the world. He's not wrong. He's not wrong in the least. Okay. Amazing how the fake news media became crazed over the chant sent her back a packed arena. Okay, see. The most vile. Yeah, but it's totally calm about the most vile and disgusting statements made by 3 radical left congresswomen. Okay, let's take a look at this sentence for a minute. Okay. Vile and disgusting statements. They have made vile and disgusting statements. They've also said some really stupid shit that made me roll my eyes on several instances. Paint him as Hitler and control his Shannon. Yeah, I know people yell shit. I know how rallies work. I'm just saying in general. Okay. I don't know, Yin Wolf. I answered that question already. Made by the 3 radical left congresswomen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. But if he was being racist, would he have called them congresswomen? If he was truly a bigot and a racist, I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's all right, Yin. I really don't think so. I think, given the opportunity here, which he had, instead of calling them radical left congresswomen, which is what they are, he would have actually made fun of what they are. Okay? See, you're late for the party, Draconith. Covered that to begin with. See, here we go. Omar was defiant after the rally, telling reporters at the Capitol that she believes the president is a fascist and casting the confrontation as a fight over what this country truly should be. We're going to continue to be a nightmare to this president because his policies are a nightmare to us. Now, listen to this. This is her rhetoric coming through. This is her regressiveness coming through. We're going to continue to be a nightmare to this president because his policies are a nightmare to us. What? The policies that are giving people jobs? The policies that have made tax cuts for people? The policies that he is trying to enact to help the detention centers at the border? You mean those policies? You mean the funding that, was the $4.6 billion supposed to go to the border that you and your cronies voted against? Because you want open borders? Because you're not paying attention to what the hell's going on over in the EU? I mean, seriously. Seriously. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And to me, my final thoughts on this is this, okay? You make the tweet. You have the rally. People are yelling that at the rally, which is basically a direct response of what he tweeted. Because let's face it, you're at a rally of somebody that you like that just finished tweeting something that you agree with. Okay? You're going to chant at them in order to get their attention. The notice me senpai thing. Okay? Hold on, guys. Let me go take her out. I'll be right back. We may run a little past noon today. Maybe you gotta go potty. Let's go potty. All right. I know you're holding it. Let's go potty. Yes, I know. I don't want to make you hold it any longer than you need to. All right. Just itty bitty puppy. You gotta go potty. All right. right, there you go. You have peed, didn't you? A river. Okay, I am back. The puppy had to go. Better outside than in the carpet. All right, here we go. One sip. Yep, puppy break. Yep. It's the notice me senpai thing. It happens at all rallies, concerts, anywhere where there's a large crowded group that's gathered around somebody or something that they like. They're going to say all kinds of shit. But a lot of times what they say is things that these people have already said, sung, what have you, in order to get their attention. And that's the crux of the matter, okay? What you do in order to quell these people, especially if you're some sort of political figurehead, is going to determine whether people try and paint you as a certain dictator or not. Oh, got a $5 donation from Ghost Dog. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much for the $5 donation. Should I brine my turkey? Right? So that's the problem there. They keep painting him as a racist. He's not a racist, okay? He is somebody that has always spoken without a filter. Period. Okay? He's always going to speak without a filter. He's always going to be egotistical. He's always going to be loud and boisterous, and he rambles, in my opinion, when he's talking without a script. He rambles a lot. He repeats himself. But once you do a thing like the tweet, if you're not sorry about it, you double down. He did that on Twitter. He clarified what he was trying to say. Okay? So he did that. Rally comes. They can't send her back. He's standing there looking around the same way that he does when people applaud him during congressional addresses and Rose Garden rambles. Okay? He doesn't stop them. Somebody asks him a question, he disavows them. And then now he's doing a complete role reversal and saying that they're patriots, which in the media's eyes means he does not condone. He completely condones. Right? I know. He completely condones, and this is in the media's eyes now, that he completely agrees with what they were chanting during the rally because he called them patriots. And this is what I mean by you have to be careful what you say and how you say it, especially when there's a media out there that is willing to, crucify you over everything you say. That's all I am trying to say. All right, here we go. Next story, if I can get this thing to open. All right. We're going to hit this last. Because this, I absolutely love this. And then we're going to look over the resolution. Yeah, we're going to go a little past noon. I hope you guys are okay with that. But I want to cover what I would like to cover. And my computer's acting up. I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. Is it? Right? All right. Senate resolution calls for Antifa activists to be labeled as domestic terrorists. You are reading that right. Okay. 2 U.S. senators have introduced a resolution calling for Antifa activists to be designated as domestic terrorists, singling out violent protests in Portland and a local branch of the anti-fascist movement in particular. The resolution, sponsored by Republicans Ted Cruz of Texas and Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, comes on the heels of a recent clash between competing demonstrators in downtown Portland that made national headlines. Okay. The resolution cited an attack on a conservative writer, Andy No, during the June 29th rallies that brought supporters of an area #HimToo group, Proud Boys and Antifa-affiliated protesters to the city's core, as well as the 2018 camp-in at the U.S. Immigration and Customs Office in Southwest Portland. Okay? So, yeah, it is about damn time. It should have happened a long time ago. Okay, so we've all seen the video of Andy No and what happened to him, so I'm not going to go into that. All right. Antifa is a terrorist organization composed of hateful, intolerant radicals who pursue their extreme agenda through aggressive violence, Cruz said in a statement. Time and time again, their actions have demonstrated that their central purpose is to inflict harm on those who oppose their views. We've seen this time and time again. We know this to be true. I have no clue. I wish they would, because every time Antifa comes out, he either does a stand down order or he just completely ignores that they're there. Okay. Let's see. The resolution is meant to express a non-binding position of the Senate and would not make any changes to the U.S. legal code. They need to make those changes. Department of Justice did not respond to a request for information on whether designating Antifa a terrorist domestic terrorist organization would change the way it prosecutes members of the organization who are accused of crimes. Yeah, we all have. We all have, Dave. We have all considered them domestic terrorists. So let's get on to the resolution, shall we? Let's take a look at the resolution, which I have right here. Because you know me, if there's a resolution and I can find it, I will find it. Come on, snap. All right. Now this thing disappeared on me. Here we go. Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, to me, they're willing to do something, even though it seems pretty pointless. I may have to open this up in the browser because this thing is acting up. Yeah, I'm going to have to open it up. Okay, whatever. Let's open it up in the browser. My car has rocket engines. Oh, Lord. Okay, so it's only 3 pages long, so shouldn't be that long to run through, okay? In with the Senate of the United States automatic zoom. How about... Okay, bigger the better. Calling for the designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. And here we go. Most states in America have anti-mask laws. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. Whereas Antifa is a movement that intentionally combines violence with the group's alt-left positions, whereas Antifa represents opposition to the democratic ideals and peaceful assembly and free speech for all, which they do. Whereas members of Antifa have physically assaulted journalists and other individuals during protests and riots in Berkeley, California, which they did. Whereas in February 2018, journalist Andy No was intimidated and threatened with violence by protesters affiliated with Antifa. Whereas on June 29th, 2019, while covering demonstrations in Portland, Oregon, journalist Andy No was physically attacked by protesters affiliated with Antifa. Whereas employees of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, referred to this preamble as ICE, were subjected to doxing and violent threats after their social media profiles, phone numbers, and home addresses were posted on the internet by left-wing activists. Whereas according to the Wall Street Journal, an ICE officer was followed by left-wing activists and confronted when he went to pick up his daughter from summer camp, and another had his name and photo plastered on flyers outside his home, accusing him of being part of the Gestapo. Whereas the ICE office in Southwest Portland, Oregon was shut down for days due to threats and occupation by Antifa members. Whereas Rose City Antifa, an Antifa group founded in 2007 in Portland, Oregon, explicitly rejects the authority of the law enforcement officers in the United States and federal, state, and local governments to protect free speech and stop acts of violence. Whereas Rose City Antifa rejects the civil treatment of individuals the group labels as fascists, stating we can't just argue against them. We have to prevent them from organizing by any means necessary. And whereas there is no place for violence in the discourse between people and the United States or in any civil society, because the United States is a place where there is a diversity of ideas and opinions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Senate calls for the groups and organizations across the country who act under the banner of Antifa to be designated as domestic terrorist organizations, unequivocally condemns the violent actions of Antifa groups as unacceptable acts for everyone in the United States, expresses the need for the peaceful communication of varied ideas in the United States, urges any group or organizations in the United States to voice its opinions without using violence or threatening the well-being of any other persons, groups, or law enforcement of officers in the United States, and calls upon the federal government to redouble its efforts using all available and appropriate tools to combat the spread of all forms of domestic terrorism, including white supremacist terrorism. So they're even including Spencer's group and all those groups that are actively and actually racist. And I say actually racist because they know, Antifa throws that word around like it's candy. So yeah, they're even including white supremacist terrorism. Now, most of us already know that the KKK has been under a watch list for years since their heyday, because nobody in the United States really, well, I'm generalizing, so let me stop, edit, rewind. Okay. Rational, open-minded people do not abide any organization that practices racism, oppression, or terrorism. Rational United States individuals, Americans, people who live here, do not mind having spirited debates. And a lot of us legal immigrants love the fact that if we really hate Trump enough, we can catch him at the next rally, yell at him to his face what an asshole he is, and walk away without being arrested. Something you can't do in Russia, Cuba, Venezuela, just to name a few. So yeah, that's the resolution right there. I figured you guys wanted that little tidbit of information this morning, and yeah, that's not working. Oh, hopefully the rest of it is. All right, let me come over here. Drag this down. All right, so latest. We're gonna start by analyzing the timeline that I downloaded this morning, and then we're gonna go from there. Here we go. And since AP always, all these are Iran time, since they call it Iran, might as well call it Iran. Okay, so starting at 11:05 in the morning, Iran's state-run IRNA news agency is reporting that the country's seizure of British-flagged oil tanker a day earlier was due to a collision with an Iranian fishing boat. The place for terrorists is in movies, books, TV shows, and video games, not in a civilized society. I completely agree. I completely agree. Oh. Thank you very much for the £5, Batman. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Saturday's report says the British tanker caused damage to the fishing boat, then didn't respond to calls from the smaller craft. The fishing boat informed Iran's Ports and Maritime Organization, which notified Revolutionary Guard. The report says the Revolutionary Guard vessels directed the Stena Impero to the Iranian port of Bandar Abbas for an investigation Friday. Iran's attempt to order a technical explanation for seizing the tanker could signal a possible de-escalation of tensions in the strategic Strait of Hormuz, which has become a flashpoint between Tehran and the West. Another British ship was briefly detained by Iran on Friday before being allowed to go. So this is 11:05 a.m. Friday. So this is their Friday, not our Friday, because they might be ahead of us. I don't know by how many hours. That I am a bit ignorant of, because time zones can really give people a headache. I need some water. My throat is drying out. My throat. I'll settle before I start the stupid stream. Here we go. I'm gonna need water. I'm gonna finish your stream first. Okay, so that's what happened at 11:05 Iran time. So as we gently progress up, 12:55 p.m., the chairman of British House of Commons Foreign Affairs Committee says military action to free the oil tanker seized by Iran would not be a good choice. Nuke Iran. I am going to butcher this last name. Tom Tugendhat, butchered. I know it's butchered. Said Saturday it would be extremely unwise to seek a military solution to the escalating crisis, especially because the vessel has apparently been taken to a well-protected port. If it has been taken to Bandar Abbas, then that's an important Iranian military port, and I think military operations will therefore be extremely unwise, he told the BBC. He also said it would not be useful to expel Iran's ambassador to the United Kingdom because it is important to keep talking. Other senior British figures have said military options should not be used. So those are 12:55. Now here we go. 2:15 Iranian time in the afternoon. The Indian and Philippine governments say they're working to get Iran to release nationals from the two countries who were on board a British flag oil tanker seized by Iran in the Persian Gulf. India's Foreign Ministry spokesman Ravesh Kumar said Saturday its diplomats were in touch with the government of Iran to secure the early release and repatriation of the 18 Indian crew members on the Stena Impero. Oops, am I about to go unresponsive? Thank you. Manila's Department of Foreign Affairs also said its ambassador to Tehran is in contact with Iranian authorities to ensure the one Filipino crew member's safety and immediate release. So they sequestered a British ship that has Filipinos and Indian people on it. Philippine Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Sarah Lu Ariola says there have been no reports of injuries among the crew. Okay. Iran's state-run IRNA news agency has said that the other crew members consisted of 3 Russians and a Latvian. Yeah, actually, we have had sanctions on them for how long now, Iran? Sanctions on Iran? It don't work. Sanctions don't work when you have unstable people in government positions. Iran's Guardian Council, a powerful constitutional watchdog, says the seizure of a British-flagged oil tanker was in response to Britain's role in seizing an Iranian tanker earlier this month. The semi-official Fars news agency quoted Abbas Ali Khadkodai. That's another one that got me. A council spokesman. Ruby Sue. Hold on just a second, guys. She's going nuts over here. Hey. Stop it. Yeah, sanctions don't work. The rule of reciprocal action is well known in international law. Okay. Kakodai says Iran made the right decision in the face of an illegitimate economic war and seizure of oil tankers. Now, for those of you that haven't been watching my streams, Iran considers the sanctions that we put on them and the sanctions that the UN has put on them because of their nuclear program to be an economic war. That's the way they have phrased it. The council rarely comments on such matters, but when it does, it's seen as a reflection of the supreme leader's views. That's because the council works closely with Ayatollah Ali Khomeini, who has final say on all state matters, which he does. At 3:25 p.m., Iran's state TV is showing the first footage of a British-flagged oil tanker after it was seized a day earlier by the country's Revolutionary Guard. Showing the Stena Impero docked near the port of Bandar Abbas in southern Iran near the Strait of Hormuz. Excuse me. Earlier Saturday, the Director General of Ports and Maritime Affairs, of Hormuzgan province, Ala Morad Ififipour, I can't believe I'm going through these names, said all 23 crew members would remain on board the ship in order to follow safety regulations. 3:35, France's foreign ministry has called on Iran to quickly free a British-flagged oil tanker and its crew, as well as respect freedom of navigation in the Persian Gulf. The ministry said in a statement Saturday that the seizing of the ship harms the needed de-escalation of tensions, which it does, and it condemned the action. We don't like what you did. We're waggling a finger at you because we're France. Yes, I make fun of France. Iran said it seized the tanker on Friday in the Strait of Hormuz at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, in what marked a new escalation of tensions and a crisis over the slow unraveling of the 2015 nuclear accord. Yeah. First, there was us sending ships in that direction. Then there was them shooting down our drone. Now we're playing, who's tanker, who's got the tanker? Basically. 4 p.m. Germany says Iran's seizure of British oil tanker and the brief detention of another is an unjustifiable intrusion on shipping through a key Persian Gulf route that is increasing tensions in the region. Now we got Germany. Got everybody in the world going, excuse me, Iran. You are fucking up. Would you mind fixing your screw up? That we would be very appreciated. That would be very appreciated. Let me see. The foreign ministry says Saturday it strongly condemns Iran's actions on Friday against the vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. So RIP, no more shitlords. Ren will have a weekend show still in the works on what the new... Oh, okay. Oh, no more shitlords anonymous? Shit. Oh, well. Oh, well. Let me see. The ministry is urging Iran to immediately release the ship and crew it seized, and said Britain has Germany's support. It calls the seizure an unjustifiable intrusion into the civilian shipping industry, which further exacerbates an already strained situation. That it does. And it added, another regional escalation would be very dangerous. It would also undermine all ongoing efforts to find a way out of the current crisis. All right. So that's where we're at so far. Those are the latest developments up to date. I think that's 4 p.m. today, Iranian time, and that's the last update as far as the British. And in this corner, Britain and their tankers, and in this corner, Iran and their endless screw-ups. Who shall win? Okay, so there's that. Let me see here. Okay, today at 8:30 a.m. And come on, snap. Thank you. Much appreciated. Your cooperation is much appreciated. Here I am thinking I'm going to go past noon and it's 20 till. Yay, I'm doing good. All right, let me see if anybody else has sent me anything through PayPal. Now, if you do want to send a message attached to it, there's always a note section, and you can include a note. If you want me to, call out your name in chat, on the stream to thank you personally, and you don't want me to dox you because I'm not going to dox you, please include your screen name so I can read your screen name. Otherwise, if I don't recognize your name in the PayPal, I'm going to go, thank you for the X amount person who I do not want to dox. Because I don't do that shit. That's skeezy. Let's see here. I harbor no doxer and I dox no one. Because that shit is wrong. Okay, so here we go. Britain says Iran seizes 2 oil tankers in Gulf. Iran says they didn't, obviously. Britain said Iran seized 2 oil tankers in the Gulf on Friday and told Tehran to return the vessels or face consequences in the latest confrontation to ratchet up tension along a vital international oil shipping route. Iran's Revolutionary Guard said they had captured the British-flagged Stena Impero, announcing the move 2 weeks after the British Navy. The British Navy seized an Iranian tanker in Gibraltar. The plot thickens. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency, I like how they say semi-official. We kind of like them, but not really. It said the second vessel, the British-operated Mesdar, had not been seized. It said the ship had been allowed to continue its course after being given a warning over safety and environmental issues. You're screwing up our environment. You need to fix that. Okay, so yes, no work. Oh, okay. That works. The data later showed Mesdar changing direction again, heading westward back into the Gulf. Okay, so we had this. Oh, here we go. Map of the tanker's route. Let's take a look at the tanker's route, shall we? So, this is Iran seizes tanker 2 weeks after the British Navy seized an Iranian tanker in Gibraltar, which I'm going to be looking up unless somebody can find me a link to read. So here we go. Steno Impero sails towards Gulf and Omani waters. And here we go. And here we go. And here we go. Starts veering off course around 1517 and heads towards Iran. Location in Iranian waters at 1628. That's kind of weird. That is kind of weird. The data later showed Mesdar changing direction again, heading westward back into the Gulf. These seizures are unacceptable. It is essential that freedom of navigation is maintained and all ships can move safely and freely in the region, British Foreign Minister Jeremy Hunt said. So let me see here. And then they're going into the increasing relations. Okay, what about the Gibraltar seizure? Here we go. Iran said it would retaliate against the seizure in Gibraltar. Just days later, 3 Iranian vessels tried to block a British-owned tanker passing through the Strait of Hormuz, but they backed off when confronted by a U.S. Navy ship. That's right, a British Navy ship, because Britain and Navy. And screw y'all, because Britain and Navy. Because, you know. All right, so I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to do this, and we're going to do this. As soon as it lets me type. And as soon as I can remember how to type. Okay. These is ship. And I forget how to type. Oh, yay. Gibraltar. Okay. Let me see what we can find here. And Kufi Reuters. So we're going to find out when exactly this happened, and we're going to read this live because we like to piece everything together. Right? Right. That's the way it works. Tehran fumes as Britain seizes Iranian oil tanker over Syria sanctions. This was July 4th, Independence Day. British Royal Marines seized a giant Iranian oil tanker in Gibraltar on Thursday for trying to take oil to Syria in violation of EU sanctions, a dramatic step that drew Tehran's fury and could escalate its confrontation with the West. So you're blatantly breaking sanctions by trying to, take your oil out of your country and take it to Syria when you're not supposed to be taking your oil anywhere, and you're pissed off that your tanker got seized. Funny how that works. The Grace 1 tanker was impounded in the British territory on the southern tip of Spain after sailing around Africa, the long route from the Middle East to the mouth of the Mediterranean. Iran's foreign ministry summoned the British ambassador to voice its very strong objection to the illegal and unacceptable seizure of its ship. Actually, it was not illegal. You were not in your waters, and you were not in international waters, from what I have read so far. You're under sanctions that you can't trade your oil, that you were trying to take it to another country. So, breaking the sanctions. Hello? Hi, wake up. You broke sanctions. Let me see here. A diplomatic gesture lifted any doubt over Iran's ownership of the vessel, which flies a Panama flag and is listed and managed by a company in Singapore. Wow. So they tried to do everything they could to disguise their oil coming out of the country so they wouldn't get dinged, and they got dinged anyway. Panama's Maritime Authority said on Thursday that Grace 1 was no longer listed in Panama's International Boat Registry as of May 29th. Oopsie! U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton said the British move was excellent news. America and our allies will continue to prevent regimes in Tehran and Damascus from profiting off this illicit trade, Bolton said on Twitter. Shipping data reviewed by Reuters suggests the tanker was carrying Iranian oil loaded off the coast of Iran, although its documents say the oil is from neighboring Iraq. Golly, they forged a lot of shit, didn't they? While Europe has banned oil shipments to Syria since 2011, it has never seized a tanker at sea. Unlike the United States, Europe does not have broad sanctions against Iran. This is the first time that the EU has done something so public and so aggressive. In other words, this is the first time that the EU has done anything. Rather than piss people off, that is. I imagine it was also coordinated in some manner with the U.S., given that NATO member forces have been involved. Said Matthew Orsman, a partner with the law firm Pillsbury Walthrop Shaw Pittman, who advises firms on sanctions. This is likely to have been meant as a signal to Syria and Iran, as well as the U.S., that Europe takes sanctions enforcement seriously, and that the EU can also respond to Iranian brinkmanship relocated to ongoing nuclear negotiations, he said. It's not even the EU wants Iran to have nuclear weapons, because they're not that dumb. And I'm stressing the that, Renee. Wasn't he? Yeah. The EU likes seamen in their docks. Oh! Yeah, they said it was the UK that seized the ship. Authorities in Gibraltar made no reference to the source of the oil or the ownership of the ship when they seized it. But Iran's acknowledgement that it owned the ship and the likelihood that its cargo was also Iranian drew a link between the incident and the U.S. effort to halt all global sales of Iranian crude. Iran describes that as an illegal economic war. See what I mean? Every sanction that we have put on them, they're considering an economic war. European countries have so far tried to appear neutral in the escalating confrontation between Tehran and Washington, which saw the United States call off airstrikes against Iran just minutes before impact last month, and Tehran amassed stocks of enriched uranium banned under a 2015 nuclear deal. Yep. The Gibraltar government said it had reasonable grounds to believe that the Grace 1 was carrying crude oil to the Benias refinery in Syria. That refinery is the property of an entity that is subject to European Union sanctions and Syria, Gibraltar Chief Minister Fabian Picardo said. With my consent, our port and our law enforcement agencies sought the assistance of the Royal Marines in carrying out this operation. A spokesman for British Prime Minister Theresa May welcomed Gibraltar's move. Well, we've got to start cracking down on it because, first of all, sanctions, when you sanction a madman, I'm going to put this up here because I only have a few more minutes left. I'm going to close all this out. You don't want to close. You're stuck. Okay. Be stuck. See if I care. Okay, now you're going to close. I'm going to put this up here. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God. We need a POTUS, and we need to also hope that it's not a fixed point in time. Yay, shitty cam time, provided that the cam works. Okay, boop. Get the little thing off of there. Yay. Oh no, it's either. All right, we'll leave it on the other one. All right, so first of all, I have said this. Iran. I have said this several times. Please excuse my hair. After the show, I've got things I have to do, like take out trash. Sanctions on madmen do not work. They don't care about the livelihood of the people that they are trying to lead in the country that they are governing. They don't. Okay? You can put sanctions on them as much as you like in order for the people to suffer. Now, some people have said, well, if the people suffer enough, they're going to uprise. They're going to have a rebellion. There's going to be a coup. How long have we had an embargo on Cuba and sanctions against that country? And the people have yet to do that. Instead of rising up violently and, exacting a coup on Maduro, the people of Venezuela are fleeing It's sanctions don't work. Now, I am I'm shocked, I'm surprised, and I'm kind of happy that the sanctions are being enforced against Iran. They're seizing these ships that are trying to do these oil trades with these other countries, which is against sanctions. This I like. This means there's actually being a proactive way that they are going after, these people that are trying to go around these sanctions. Because Lord knows how many sanctions we have on North Korea and how many countries North Korea is still working with because those countries don't give a crap about sanctions. The Ayatollah doesn't govern Iran, he rules it. I know, it's the same difference to me. There's a discrete difference between the two. That's why I like to use the phrase same difference. Because, all final decisions have to go through the Ayatollah. So it doesn't matter who comes up with the idea, the Ayatollah has to say yes or no. If he says yes, then it happens. If he says no, then it doesn't. And that's just the way it works. The Ayatollah is tantamount, metaphorically, to a medieval king. He is a sovereign in his nation. Not a figurehead sovereign, a sovereign sovereign. With all the powers that a king would normally have. He is the end all be all as far as the laws in that country. Now, you have Ahmadinejad. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I sure hope so. That he's the figurehead. He talks and he comes up with the laws. But if the Ayatollah goes, then and it don't get done. No questions asked. None. Now we are actually. He's a theocratic sovereign. Okay, I figured. Yeah, got it right. Religious king. There is, however, one story that we're not going to have time to cover that I'm probably going to wind up covering on the blog that has to do with this Iranian thing over there in the Middle East. It appears that there is a military base in Saudi Arabia on Saudi territory that our troops are beginning to occupy again. We're sending troops to that particular base. So there's lots of shit I have to keep an eye on for next week for blog post updates and things of that nature. Did I have a stream for this afternoon? No, I don't have a stream for this afternoon until I get the gaming laptop, so that's not going to happen. Okay, tomorrow morning, 10:30 Central Standard Time, which I believe is 3:30 in the afternoon for the UK. Because I know you guys had a time change. You guys do that BST thing during the summer, I think. So, I don't know. So there's going to be another show tomorrow morning then. If there are any news articles that you want me to research, please, you can DM them to me through Discord. You can DM me through my Twitter. My Twitter is always open. My Twitter DMs are open. Please, they must be current events. Current events meaning anything between this tomorrow morning. If you email me tomorrow morning, it has to be either dated, by the day of the show, and no more than 2 or 3 days back. In other words, it's 17. So I think it was 5:56. Okay, so 6 hours ahead. Okay, 6 hours ahead. All right. So how this works is, if you find a news article and it's Sunday morning and you find the news article for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, those are acceptable. I will take those. I will take a look at them and I will read them on the stream. Anything before Friday will not be read on Sunday. I'm trying to stay as current as possible and no more than 3 days before the show airs. Now, for those of you that are not aware, I am a freelance writer. You can hire me to ghostwrite at $150. What? 150? Let's try this again. You can hire me to write for you for $1.50 per 100 words typed. You can hire me to transcribe at $1.50 per audio minute. You can also hire me to proofread at $10 an hour. Here is the form that you can fill out in order for us to start negotiations. We can, if you're doing the hourly rate, we can actually agree on a particular piece of software for me to clock in and clock out of in order to keep the hours straight, because I want to be as honest as possible with my business. You can also support me on Zero Strings, Coffee, Tip the Stream, and thank you for those who have tipped the stream today. We are also a Humble Bundle partner. I cannot speak anymore. So you can click on that link and that'll take you to my partner store on humblebundle.com. If you want to keep up with updated stories, and I'm about to upload some stories today, please, you can go to my blog and you can subscribe to my blog and you can get those in your email, your inbox. The way it's working is if we read the story like today, Britain versus Iran, and then there's an update. The update will not be read on the stream. It will be put in a blog post and it will be uploaded to this blog right here. So any updates for stories that we read on the stream are going to always be here. Now, if you want writing advice, if you want to read short stories, poems, breakdowns on comics, game reviews, and things of that nature, that is what this blog is for, because I'm trying to keep both separate. The latest blog post is a creepypasta, so if you guys kind of like creepypastas, you can follow me there and do that as well. So, now that we have reached the end of the rope, or the end of the stream, bring this up, hopefully. Pull this up. I said pull this up. Yay. All right, cool. All right, so until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, goof off with each other, be good. If you can't be good at it. And don't believe everything the mainstream media is trying to feed you. I will be in Discord after the show, so those of you who would like to join me in the coffee club, pop on over there. Those of you that don't have an invite, please DM me. I will be more than happy to send you an invite so you can join the after show conversation. See you guys next time.